been feeling blue. My money is too. Shawty act rude till she seen it too. I've been feeling blue.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another wonderful episode of What's the Dealio podcast. This is Siano from Sabre Advisors, Sabre Business Exchange, and to my right, I have the handsome Michael Steinberg.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that compliment. Hope you're not lying. We have an amazing guest today. He's an absolute monster in sales. He's a sales giant. Very nice to meet you, Eddie. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate
Eddie
it.
Pods.
Eddie Pods is in the
on
house.
the pod.
On the pod.
Let's go. Eddie, tell us about yourself.
I'm going to be 59 years old in 2 weeks. I am a happily married 22 years with my wife, Maria, and we have 3 kids, but 2 stepkids from my previous marriage as well. I have a daughter going off to college next week.
That's the athlete?
Nice.
No,
that's not the athlete.
The one who retired from soccer and loves fashion and is a girly girl and doesn't want to do sports. She wants to rush. So we're driving down to South Carolina next week for Rush Week.
Love South Carolina. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's a good university. She's really excited about it. And, you know, picking up business along the way.
All right, so the first obvious question I have to ask is, how did you get the name Eddie Pods?
You remember the old show, Cheers?
Of course.
Walk in the room, everyone yells Norm. 12 years ago, my first networking event with Pods was with an organization called NARI. And I thought I didn't know anyone. And I walked in the door, and there were 3 guys sitting at the bar that I knew. And they stood up and they yelled, Eddie Pods is here. And for 12 years, it has stuck, not just in the personal life. My nieces and nephews, they like to mock me because I've done a few Instagrams and some Snapchats, and they like to, Eddie Pods, Eddie Pods. But when my senior VP in Florida calls you Eddie Pods, you kind of feel you've reached heights.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I love it.
It's a personal brand.
It's a personal brand with my business brand, which is who I am. So when I'm selling, it's not that I'm not selling for Pods. I'm selling for Eddie Pods. We're a brand as one, and if you choose one, you get me.
Yeah.
And if you choose me, you get the other.
Right.
2 great companies that want to do nothing but give you great service and make your move or your renovation go successful.
What I find so interesting about that is, you know, I've been in the marketing and digital marketing and social media space for just shy of a decade I was actually in internet advertising before I was in commercial real estate 20 plus years ago at this point. And young people have really understood the importance of personal branding, right? It's definitely something the younger generations have embraced, but the older generations still, for the most part, don't really understand it. And you shout it out right away, like, yeah, it's a personal brand.
That's it. Personal brand, I think, in today's world is everything.
So the minute that somebody hears your name, they kind of sort of know what you do, but we still don't know enough. So What do you do, Eddie Pods?
I work for Pods Moving and Storage. Okay. I'm a relocator, renovator, fire and flood guy. So when your house is flooded or fired, the Serpros, the Rainbows show up to do your renovation, restoration, mold remediation. They got to take the contents out, the good contents. So they use my storage containers for the good contents. The bad contents, they take back to their warehouse and clean and do whatever they do there. In the relocation world, there's a lot there. Yeah. People are fleeing New York to Texas, to South Carolina.
About that.
And those are the clients that I'm trying to reach because the relocation world is big and my competitors' rates are really high.
Yeah.
The tractor trailer guys and the moving companies, their rates are skyrocketing. So I can do a lot of good business underneath them because my rates are a little more convenient, and using Pods can be more convenient. You know, if you're a big executive who wants nothing to do with the move, you hire a full-service mover. I get it. But if you're downsizing, you don't know how to downsize, and you want to take your time doing it, using the Pods is the best way to load as you want. Take your time. There's no rush. I get asked all the time, well, how many days do I get it for? As long as you want to keep paying for it.
Yeah,
that's the reality. I try to be funny about it, but it's the truth. It's up to you. You control it.
Is it? I mean, are there advantages to certain time frames? How does it get priced out? Is it monthly?
So it is a monthly charge. There is transportation fees, delivery fees. There's a lot of fees, but with every client that I bring into the door, the price is separate. Tell me what you want to do. Now, I say that because Pods doesn't fit every vertical, but I could fit part of the job. I may fit the move from here to North Carolina really well, but you want to move the furniture from the backyard to grandma's house out in the Hamptons. You don't want to rent a pod for that.
Yeah.
I got a guy.
Got
I
it.
got a truck.
Yep.
I got labor. I got people that will come to the house on said day, put the stuff in the truck, set it up for you out in the Hamptons. Done.
So, Mike, I love how your brain works, and you're coming off of a 5-mile run, so I'm not sure that you're completely 100% with us just yet, so I'm going to test you. So,
Test me.
so when Eddie Pod said everybody's fleeing New York, what came to mind for you?
What came to mind for me is, obviously business. These people that are fleeing New York, are they baby boomers? Do they want to buy businesses? Or are they just retirees that want to retire down south? What kind of personnel are they, the people that are moving?
It's a good mix. I'd say 80% are retirees. A good 10% are relocation business people. And the rest are under 40s who are just want to go south.
Who want to be able to afford a nice home.
I just moved the guy. He's moving to St. Augustine.
Okay.
St. Augustine, Florida is the oldest city in the country. It's beautiful. It's northern Florida. You don't feel like you're in Florida when you're there.
Yeah.
And we talked for an hour about St. Augustine because I'm looking to buy a summer home somewhere. And St. Augustine's on one of my lists because I don't consider it part of Florida.
That city's going to appreciate. That's a very affordable place now. I think in the next 10 years, it's going to go up a lot.
So there, in my core business, I really, I help brands scale across the country. So it's directly associated with what you said. So the majority of our work are in the markets that you're shipping all of these containers to, basically. So what are the most active markets? You started to list them out, but where would you say you're shipping the most from New York?
North Carolina,
Yep.
South Carolina,
Yep.
Florida.
Okay.
Then we go to Texas,
Yep.
and then we go back to Atlanta.
Okay.
Those are my prime top 4.
Okay.
Nobody's going to California.
I'll be there on Tuesday, but not moving.
Not moving. It is very pricey no matter who you use, whether you use a full service moving company or you use pods. It's just
cross country
Cross-country.
is very expensive.
So I have a question. This year compared to your prior years, how are you doing in sales? Are sales skyrocketing this year? What's it been like?
I've been very blessed to have that arc up for 12 straight years. We just had our annual half-year meeting last week. Not to toot my horn, but I'll toot my horn.
Please do.
I got a VIP award because of one of only 2 people in the entire company who hit their goals every month this year.
Amazing.
Meaning I got a 20% increase from last year, which means I'm driving more revenue this year. So my streak of 12 straight years will go to 13 if I continue to do what I'm doing right now in the market.
Aside from being so handsome, what do you attribute that to?
Networking.
Networking.
So Mike had the pleasure of coming to my networking group that I was asked to run it 2.5 years ago. They had 9 members. We now have 32 members.
Where is that, and why was I not invited?
Mike was invited. We'll be happy to invite you for breakfast at the Comac Candlelight Diner. It's every Tuesday morning, 7 a.m. Unless there's a holiday, there's a meeting. There's never emails out the night before we've canceled. There is a meeting.
Sure.
Don't send an email that asking if you can't make it, you can't make it.
Yeah.
And the best part about our organization, it's a not-for-profit.
Oh, really?
All dues are donated to charities.
Very nice.
Networking to Charity Inc. is the name of our group. And
Who started this?
I did.
Of course.
I did. We actually have an accountant in the group who knows how to do 5063Cs, and he set us up.
Yep.
And we donated $17,000 last year.
Beautiful.
And I know I invited you on a text today. I sent you a text. I want Jay to come too. Tequila Tuesday is coming up on September 12th.
Wow.
3rd annual.
Will Stevie P be there?
Stevie P will be there. Of course he will.
That's all he
Of
has to
course he
say.
will. That's an event that I host, but we're going to be giving away our donation this year to a charity at the event. So
That's amazing.
Really trying to hype it up a little and drive more. I want to see at least 60 businesses there.
Really
That's
nice.
my goal. Last year we had 40. I know more people this year, have more connections this year. I want to bring it up to 60.
So, go ahead, Mike.
So the point of the networking meeting is basically for everyone to refer business to each other, right? That's really the point.
It's having your own sales force out in the field that when they hear a word, it triggers your name. Now, if you're a good presenter at these meetings and you continually have a good understanding of your industry and people trust you without having used you, when they're sitting having a dinner conversation with their uncle and the uncle says, oh, I'm going to be moving. Someone said to get a storage container. I know Eddie Potts. It's having over 200 other sales reps working for you.
Yeah.
And I do the same back. And and I think I might have mentioned this to you before. I didn't take off. I grew $2 million from one year to the next. This is the past 3 years. It was when I started helping other people more, when I started referring business to other people. So when I was in a room and someone said they just got a speeding ticket, Glenn Riegel is my lawyer. He'll get you out of the ticket. You got to use him. When I redid my insurance with the girl in my group and my rates went down, I went over to my neighbor and said, dude, you got to go see Danielle. She dropped my rates by $300 this year. When I started giving, organically, I started getting more and more.
Yeah.
And it's a rewarding feeling knowing that you're helping other people. Don't just be out for yourselves.
Yeah, and you don't expect to get back. Just do it to do it, right?
Do it for the sake of doing it. And I had mentioned to you, it's planting a seed in someone's head that he wants to help my business. That's great. I'm going to try to help his business.
Yeah.
And I do 2 or 3 events a year, and all the people in my sphere, they get text messages from me at least once a quarter, inviting them to a happy hour or the Tequila Tuesday or whatever event that I'm hosting. So that's a big part of my networking is hosting events, being up in front,
Sure.
put my own money out there to rent the room and set up the appetizers. Don't care.
Yeah.
It's not about money.
It's an investment regardless.
It's an investment in me.
Yeah.
It's an investment in me.
Exactly.
And I have a very supportive boss.
Yeah.
Who okays my expense checks every month. I'm very supportive.
Sure. Well, it benefits him. It benefits
It all
the company.
benefits the whole
Yeah.
company. Absolutely.
So when you do these events, are they participating in the expenses as well? Or no, so you're putting out your own money.
My own money.
But are you advertising for your company as well?
Last year I actually got a sponsor.
Okay.
I offered someone new in my networking group
Yeah.
if he wanted to really get out there.
Yeah.
And he paid me $250 to have his booth at my event.
Yep.
And I stopped the event for 15 minutes so he could
It's great.
talk about what like giving him full value.
Yeah.
And he made a sale that night.
That's beautiful.
That night he made a sale. Now this event, you ask bringing in it, everyone's got to bring a bottle of tequila. I don't care if it's a big one, small one, it doesn't matter. We're sampling.
Yeah.
We're doing mixed drinks with tequila, so it's a real.
I
It's
like
fun.
it. Yeah, it's a show. It's nice.
Plus, my wife says it fills you up for tequila for the year.
There you go. So it's interesting because I do think that so few salespeople truly understand how important it is to invest in yourself and invest in your own business. They kind of rely on the company they work for to do that. And I think the outliers, the people, the Eddie Pods of the world
Right.
that are hitting and achieving their goals year over year understand exactly what you just said. And I think it's so important because I think if you don't do everything you just described, you're going to hit that ceiling and people are working hard and wondering why they can't get to the next level. And I think you just gave them great advice that if they follow, they can get to the next level. Because if you're not taking your own money and investing it in yourself, even beyond your career, personal growth, everything, you're not going to achieve that next level. But back to year over year comping and growth. How did COVID affect you directly? So from 2019 to 20 to 21 to 22, I'm just curious.
Watch my smile.
I figured, kind of the opposite of my business.
It was raining money.
I'm sure.
It was where I went from $3 million to $5 million.
There you go. But how do you continue that growth without COVID?
Stacking the business. So that's my word that I've been using for years. You have to stack business. You have to stack good business. A 1-month rental is not good business. A 6-month rental is okay. A 1-year rental is awesome. A move is terrific. So during COVID, the avenues that opened up for us was the medical industry, pods, containers all over the facilities, hospitals everywhere. And then the second was schools. All of a sudden, the schools had to get rid of half the chairs and tables in every room. They were renting them by the thousands. I knew that this was not going to last.
Yeah. Unlike the Peloton CEO, you knew?
I knew.
I'm proud of you.
I
That's
knew.
great.
I knew it wasn't going to last. So my mantra was, I'm going to enjoy this kick-ass year. But now I have to find another vertical because this vertical is going to die, and some of these rentals are going to come off. So I could book 200 containers a month, and I could lose 100.
Yeah.
But still, it's still 100.
Right.
And then you do it again next year. Yeah. It's about stacking that new business on top. So my goal from there, knowing that this was going to change, was I needed to get more involved in real estate. I needed to get into the real estate offices because my boss gave me a path that I could sell to them who sell to the consumer. So I'm commercial. A consumer is not commercial, but if the referral comes through commercial businesses, I'm okay. So they opened that door for me, and I kicked it open.
So you're referring to B2C versus B2B.
Correct. I'm going B2B to get the connection.
Right.
They're turning me on. They're allowing me to come into their office. I bring my beautiful bagels from Comac, Everything Bagel, give them a nice little spread. And I did this yesterday. They give me 15 minutes to speak to their team. And depending on what the branch manager wants, so it's funny, I do a tools in a tool belt. And I gear that towards the real estate people that if they want to succeed in real estate, they need to have more tools in their tool belt. So when the homeowner says, I need homeowners insurance, you need to have a homeowners insurance person, you could refer them. I need a title guy, all the things that you need to own a home. And she said to me, I have a very experienced crew. I don't want that presentation. How about the moving and storage component? Love it. Come on in. Okay. Just change what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I was in Caldwell Banker yesterday in Syosset, 25 agents, everyone enjoying the munch, giving me an opportunity to explain to them why Pods and myself are so versatile and that they should refer me.
Now, if they do refer you, what do they get?
Lunch.
Lunch.
I don't pay people for referrals.
Okay.
I give the discounts to their clients. But the one thing, and I say this to my realtors, when you sell that house, closing's done. You said your thank yous, goodbye, you're done.
Yep.
Your name, probably they won't even remember. With Pods, when we move you to South Carolina, I move you. When you want it redelivered, I do that. When you want it picked up, I do that. But that last phone call that they make to me, Eddie, come get the empty container, they get two questions. Did you like Eddie Pods' service? And did your realtor do a good job? And if the answer is yes, I want you to remember us, write our names down, and refer us, family, friends, whoever's moving in the near future. Let us be helpful to them as well. So I bring the realtor back in focus, a name focus, reminder, and teaching people, be a good person, refer them.
Yeah.
If they did you right, refer them. If they suck, then don't.
Yeah, you're just providing the best possible service that can be offered to them.
And you know how it is when you're at a party and someone says they want to do something that you already have done, or you have a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to be like, I got a guy. I got
course.
Eddie Potts.
Yeah.
But that's my give back to the realtors, letting them come to events of mine. I say letting. I have to invite them, so I invite them to events. The problem with realtors, sometimes they want something more than that, and I won't participate.
Yeah. That's why I ask.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by realtors, commercial and residential realtors.
Yeah, I give you a breakfast. That's,
Yeah.
I give you a tchotchke. I come in, and it was all women. I was smart. I pulled the Pods mirror, portable compact mirror for the car, and they were like, oh, I love my mirror.
That is smart.
It's very
Yeah, you got to focus
Yeah.
on your audience.
Yeah.
There was a guy there. I brought him a koozie. He loved it. I know. You got to mix it up.
That's right.
Yeah,
Did you go into the meeting knowing what the gender split was going to be?
Nah, just bring enough goodies
Just
in the
bring it up,
bag
yeah,
just
yeah.
to make it happen.
You're a pro. You got it in your toolbox.
Got it in my toolbox.
So we have a synergy right now that I just thought about. You're talking to all these so you talk to a lot of these real estate.
Yes.
So my business is converting these real estate agents because 80% of them don't make money. It's just a fact. And I'm teaching them how to become business brokers. So, like, I like working with bigger offices because there's more people, and we would work it together. Like, I would work it together with you. So we got to talk about that offline on how we can. I don't know. It might be something that we can make money on.
There's always a way to make
There's always a way.
money. So this year I've done 9 real estate offices, coming in with the bagels all over. One of them in Keller Williams liked me so much they gave me the second office, and then they sent me an this is funny. They sent me an opportunity to sponsor a yacht cruise out of Jamaica Bay. And I called my boss and like, dude, I got to do this. I got 150 agents that have nowhere to go.
Yeah, right.
They're on the boat.
Yeah.
They have nowhere to go.
Yeah.
They have to have time with me. He's like, go for it. Go for it. So I'm pretty excited. It's coming up the 30th of August.
Yeah.
And I got to invite my wife as well. So
Nice.
we're going on a nice yacht cruise. I've never been out in Jamaica Bay over there by LaGuardia Airport. So that'll be fun. And
Yeah.
I got 145 agents who are going to be on this
Captive
boat.
audience.
Captive
Wow.
audience. Literally.
Yeah.
Captive audience.
Listen, I mean, and you could tell you're passionate about, doing this stuff because you're providing, again, great service and you believe in that, right?
do.
So you're actually, I always said being in sales, practically my entire adult life and actually part of my childhood growing up in a car dealership, I never feel like I'm selling. I'm not, right? Because if somebody wouldn't do well with the product or service that I have, I'm not trying to give it to them.
Right.
I'm only really looking for people that can benefit from what I can do, what my superpowers are. And when you're confident in that, you're never selling.
You're never selling.
It's a beautiful thing.
I had someone the other day who wanted a pod, and it wouldn't fit in their driveway. And I saw the picture, and I said, can't do it. She goes, do you have a solution? It's not. When do you want the truck at your house?
Right.
She goes, what? I said, I'll send the truck to your house. I'll send 3 men to load the truck. They will go to my warehouse. There'll be a pod sitting on the ground for them. They'll load it into the pod. They'll tie it down. They'll lock it. They'll give me the keys, and I'll give you the keys back, and you tell me what you want to do with it. She's like, you can do that? Doesn't Pods mind? Well, Pods couldn't do it.
Right.
But I still kept Pods in the project.
Sure.
But I have another solution.
Right.
The more solutions you have, people recognize you as a connector or a leader or someone who might be able to help me.
Yeah.
I love that. That's great.
I
There's
feel
always
like
a solution.
I feel
Always a
like
solution.
if there's any topic that I need assistance with, for some reason, Eddie Pods can solve it for me.
I believe
I kinda
that.
feel
I
that
do
way.
believe that.
Yeah.
I have another buddy of mine, Ray Fleber. He's a title guy, a great friend of mine, and he does events as well. And he always checks in with me if this date works for me, because we both bring audiences together, to connect. So my sphere is so big. If I don't have it, Rafe does.
Yeah.
Like he's my 1A, I'm 1, he's 1A, or vice versa.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah.
So we're
What does he do?
title
Okay,
insurance.
okay.
It's title. when you buy a house
Yeah,
or
sure.
a building, you got to make sure the title's all clear. He just went out on his own 2 years ago. He's doing fantastic, and I'm a big cheerleader for him.
That's great.
That's great.
That's great.
Yeah.
What do you got, Mike?
So tools in your tool belt, that hit me right there. As a commercial real estate broker for 22 years, as a business broker for 10 years, when someone comes to me and they're like, I need a loan, I need title insurance, I need anything. Credit card processing,
STVP.
Shout out Stevie P.
It's just so important to have all these tools in your tool belt, and that opened my eyes right there. That was great. But I have a question for you. You're a sales giant. You do very well with sales. What do you think is the most important thing in the sales process?
Attitude.
How do you wake up in the morning? Do you wake up on the right side of the bed every day?
No.
I do.
Yeah. I try, but, it's funny. I actually have, this week's been interesting because I'm dealing with some personal things, my father's health, things of that nature. I wake up on the right side of the bed also practically every day. But dealing with, things you can't control, I'm so used to being in control. Things you can't control can force you to wake up on the wrong side of the bed some days. So I convert that, by doing what I do with my morning routine.
So I had a bad day yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
I had something.
But it wasn't the morning. You can't wake up.
No. But when I was laying in bed last night, I was still thinking about it.
Yeah.
What happened with this person. And when I woke up this morning, still was scrunchy in the nose. I said, fuck it. Sorry.
Don't be so-
I just said, no. New day.
Right.
Got to start the new day fresh. Go get some coffee for myself and the wife. Go walk the dog. Let's rock this day. And I knew I was coming here, so I was even more pumped up.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's important because, the reality, people need to hear that it's not possible to wake up every day,
No.
regardless of who you are and what you do. I find the positive in anything, right? That's a gift, right?
It is a gift.
That's DNA. I was born that way. Everything is positive. But occasionally, again, like there's going to be days when you're dealing with stuff and you're just like, oh, man, this is a day. But
The other, and I hate to interrupt you.
No, go
the
ahead.
other thing is when you're on the phone, smile.
yeah,
It comes through over the phone.
yeah.
If you're frowny face, it comes through over the phone. I caught myself this morning. I caught myself in a frowny face, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm not a frowny face guy."
Yeah. I actually have like a perma smile. I can't not smile,
Good.
and that's literally part of my life, which is amazing. And I agree with you. I intentionally, it's funny, Michael Chernow, who is somebody that's in the space, you know, that I'm in the fitness kind of wellness space. I heard him recently on a podcast, and he wakes up in the morning, stares at the same spot on the ceiling, and smiles for a certain amount of
God
time.
bless.
And it gets him into like his morning routine and gets the, you know, the positive energy going. And ever since I heard that, I've been doing that. And I
It
think
is
it's phenomenal.
contagious.
I love
Yeah.
that.
Positivity is
You gotta try
contagious.
that.
Yeah.
It's contagious, and if
Yeah.
you are always known as that person with a smile on your face, people are going to be drawn to you.
Yeah.
And you know that in your business world by being that way. People are drawn to you because you're an uplifting person. Who wants to be around a Debbie Downer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, taking it a step further, I've been very intentional about anything with negative energy. I can't be around it at this
Same
stage.
here.
At my, this stage of life, I just can't be around it. It's like, it's the worst thing on the planet. I think energy is everything.
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 Agreed.
How about follow up? You know, what do you think about follow up? How do you follow up with people?
So I get a lot of work through my email. We run reports every day on the website, and people called into the call center, so I can see every lead in all my markets. And my markets are all in Connecticut, all in New Jersey, all in New York, and Delaware. Those are my markets. I can run a report, and I could see sometimes there's an email and or a phone number. If there's a phone number, that's my first go-to. Pick up the damn phone. But before I pick up the phone, I review their quote that they did, look at it, make it better, then call them. So a lot of my guys, it's a waste of time. Why are you running it? Because they see it. And they see that it's lower. And if they are going to go with us, they're not going to go with me because I'm the guy that just gave them a good deal. And I followed up. There's a system in Outlook that I use to make sure I email at least 3 times before I give up. Just
Explain the system.
So I email out of Salesforce,
Okay.
but I CC myself in Outlook.
Okay.
So it comes up on my Outlook page. I code it with a yellow. That means that I hit them for the first time. When I go for the second time, I turn it into a green.
Okay.
When I hit it a third time, I delete it.
Okay.
These are all
I leave
great
those,
tips.
I
Yeah,
leave
great
those
tip.
active flags there. So all I have to do is reply all. Are you still interested in using pod services?
Is
And-
that a cut and paste? The are you still
cut and paste,
interested?
cut and paste,
Yeah,
cut and
everything.
paste. I could bang out 100 on a conference call.
Yeah.
So yellow, green, and then what was the third one?
Delete.
Killed.
Killed.
But I get at least 3 emails to every person. If it's a really good lead, they'll get at least 2 or 3 phone calls. And I text. I'm not afraid to text somebody. My counterpart's like, really? You text? Like, hell yeah. You don't
very
know how
important.
people want to
Especially
respond.
today. I mean, you're getting, email conversion is not what
Right.
it used to be,
And I have people's names. So it's, hey, Jim, it's Eddie from Pots. I'm right up front. This is who I am.
Yeah.
Are you interested? Simple questions.
Yeah.
Not long, drawn-out emails. Not long, drawn-out texts. Are you interested?
Yeah.
it.
I think people are getting a lot more used to receiving texts
Yeah.
like that. Too.
100%.
I do three.
get it.
I teach my whole company 3 things. Email. You have to have 3 lines of communication: email, text, and obviously phone call is the most important. But it's always important to have all 3 lines at all times.
No snail mail? You done with snail mail?
Snail mail too. Snail mail is great, but with communicating with buyers, those 3 things are
Okay.
very important.
Got it.
No, he's 100%. I have something called 10-10-10 that I'm notorious for teaching other people. Getting caught in the rabbit hole of a day as a sales guy, meaning you got stuck on a project that lasted way too long.
Yep.
I have hour-and-a-half increments of my day. Emails for an hour and a half. Phone calls for an hour and a half. Zoom info searching, hour and a half. Change. 10 emails, 10 phone calls. It's just an analogy. Sometimes it's more or less, but it reminds you to not get lost in your day.
And when you
Time
do that,
blocking.
and when you do that, when you do the emails and the Zoom, do you put the phone away? Do you not answer those calls? Or you focus strictly on that? Or
No, my phone's always up. Because if that phone, that could be
If
a
it
sale.
rings, yeah.
Yeah, if it rings, so restoration is urgent. You know, they need it right away. I won't not call unless I know who it is. Don't want that one right now. A lot of times I'll text them on the road. I'll just to get out of it. I'm on the road right now. I'll call you back. Nobody can argue with you.
Yeah.
it's all about time management. That's what I'm learning a lot in my
Yeah.
business. You know, how do you really manage your time? Because in our business, we eat what we kill.
Yeah.
So how do we effectively every single day use time to our advantage?
Break it up.
It's funny because I think, you know, as a salesperson, like boots on the ground, like selling, it's easier than as a business owner.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
where that's where I'm constantly going back and forth with my teams on where should I, as the CEO, be spending the bulk of my time? How much do I stay involved in each of these conversations and meetings? Or do I turn it over to my, you know, team leaders and partners to, you know, and I'm having such a big challenge with that cadence because I'm so used to being involved in everything. And it's at a certain point, you're holding yourself back. You're hitting that same ceiling I was talking about.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
It's tough.
So for me, it's learning that my back office has to do more.
Right.
So I have to, honestly, I'll answer
Push them.
I'll answer an email from my phone, even though I'm in the office, and I could do that task right now, but I'm on something else.
Yeah.
And I'll email the office, hey, I'm on the road right now. Can you please take care of this?
Yeah.
That's how I
Smart.
delegate
Delegate.
it. They don't know that I'm full of shit and I'm sitting in the office and I
Yeah.
could have taken care of it. It's my time's more valuable than selling.
Well, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the answer to the question. I literally just did a post last week on delegate to elevate. So
Absolutely.
I'm trying to actually be very mindful of this. And I'm actually reading a book, Traction, about the EOS system.
I know that. I met
saw
that
that.
guy at the
Oh, did ya?
Manhattan Chamber trade show last year. I have the book. I
Have you
snoozed.
really?
I couldn't.
I got to tell you, there's some gems.
I'm not an owner, so
I
maybe it
know.
doesn't resonate.
Yeah.
Not yet, anyway.
Yeah.
But it wasn't fluffy enough for me.
No, I got to tell you, as an owner, there are amazing gems in there.
Yeah,
and it's
I'm sure.
very helpful about how to really break down your, you know, as the business, right? Not as your own individual sales, your 10-year, your 5, your 3, your 1 year, and then your quarterly rocks.
Right.
Which, by the way, a company the size of Pods probably has all of these goal
Of course.
setting, you know, so when you're starting a company from scratch, for the entrepreneurs that are listening to this, like Mike and I, we don't have the background. You know, yes, I worked at CB Richard Ellis, the biggest commercial real estate company in the world. That's great. But I was an individual agent, top producer that was crushing my goals at opening the most Chipotles, right? Like
Nice.
that's what it was. It wasn't, okay, well, these are the things I need to do, and these are what I should rely on from my teams, and these are the goals and so on and so forth from an actual, you know, business perspective versus my.
It's different. You
it's
definitely
very
Going
different.
through what you're going through right now,
Yeah.
we brought on 30 new agents last week.
Yeah,
And
that gives me anxiety.
it's a lot of
Thought
anxiety.
of 30 new agents.
So I had to I had to make changes. So I took my top guy and I put him in I'm putting him in my position. He'll handle all the meetings. He'll handle all the sales force. What I have to do, I have mentors in my life. They're helping me out a lot. I'm looking to create strategic partners. So people that can bring on more people. I'm looking to help build the infrastructure so I can have more talent on the back end that are better than me at certain things. I'm trying to hire people that are better than me, hire my weaknesses. And that's just something that I'm learning as I'm going.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game. As an entrepreneur, you essentially want to fire yourself from almost every role that you were in when you started the company. But at the same time, when you say 30 new agents, that's 30 personalities that somebody's going to manage, which in today's day and age is a fucking nightmare.
Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. That
It
is
is.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
Everyone's
that's a
getting onboarded. Everyone's calling me. How do I get started? Luckily I have a great team behind me, and it's working, but it's very stressful.
Yeah, I mean, I think it comes back to, really it's 10 steps forward and 5 steps back, and then
Every
3
day.
steps forward and iteration, calibration. Those are the things, right? So you think you're doing well, and then the wheels fall off, and then you fix it, and then you're flying an airplane and building it at the same time, and
Running alongside it.
there you go, exactly.
Hey, let me jump in.
Exactly.
There's always
Good
tweaks.
stuff. Yeah. So, in closing here, Eddie Pods, what would you tell our community about you and how they can get in touch with you and Pods? Give us a little.
So if you're interested in just getting a quote, interested in knowing how Pods works, you're interested in how your project could look and what the cost could look like, don't go to the website. Give me a call.
Yeah.
Let me walk you through the steps. You can call me at 631-334-8587, or you can email me at eadelman@pods.com. And that's EADELMAN@pods.com. I am happy to chat. I literally set aside hours of my day to speak to one person.
Yeah.
Meaning, tell me a story. What do you need? Tell me the whole story till they're out of breath.
Yep.
That's when I speak. I wait.
That's another great tip.
It's a great tip. Always be a good listener.
And Pods is obviously a national company,
We are.
international as well.
Yes, we are. We have offices in England and Australia, but they're not connected to me.
Okay.
They're franchises out there.
But somebody that's looking to move outside of your specific territory, geography, can you help point them in the right direction?
255 warehouses around this great United States that I have access to, and I mean first-class access to. I can pick up the phone tomorrow, call my warehouse. I need a favor. Can you do this, this, and this? So we ship anywhere in the country, and if you have any projects in major cities around the country, we have something called City Service. Pod doesn't come off the truck. It's for cities. Lift gate at the back of the truck. We come in 4-hour increments. We stay there for 4 hours. Driver operates the lift gate, so the client's loading from ground level. We're there for 4 hours. You lock it. I take it away to my warehouse.
Wow.
So some new services that I helped build in New York 10 years ago, 12 years ago, that's exploded all over the country now.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it is. Fit where you don't fit.
Yeah.
Can't fit in downtown Boston. There's no parking lots. Downtown Philly, no. Chicago, San Fran, Austin. These are all major cities that we have this operation. And it started here with me.
That's amazing.
Going on the street with my camera, videotaping the truck, putting together a collateral flyer to promote it, having everyone go for it, and building a business to, I think New York did 15 million last year.
Wow.
In just city service.
Unbelievable.
Just crazy numbers.
That's awesome.
And I was part of the grassroots growing of it. So it's a real feather in my cap. It is.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Very
Well, listen,
cool.
guys, I think needless to say, if you're moving, you got to call Eddie Pods.
Thank
Eddie,
you.
thank you for joining
Thanks
us.
so much.
Pleasure, man. Thanks for having me.